For television by
Damn, James.
Yeah.
it sounds like you have a one-man band in there.
James
Anyway.
is previewing our new intro music.
Hey, Indigo made the beat.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Heroes Peak podcast. I'm your host Chris, and I'm here with some of my favorite people, Mike and James, and we're here to talk about She-Hulk, the entire series as it just finished today. Today it was released today. Actually, I'm actually on top of watching something like when it releases. This is crazy. How are you guys doing this week? I've been away, so how you been holding up without me?
Well, speaking of surprise TV shows, surprise to the Giants, having a pretty great season thus far. Let's get that out the way. Shout out the Giants and beating your Bears while you were away traveling cross country.
I don't think my Colts are doing as good though.
Well, you know it wasn't looking good when they started the season with a tie. So, like what is this, Wrexham Football Club? Come on, let's get with the program here.
Yeah, NFL needs to get rid of that. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a shootout. Like invent like a shootout. I want to see how far in the air a NFL quarterback can throw the ball. I want like whoever can throw it the farthest.
Or they can do penalty kicks, like 50-yard kicks, to see how far the other opposing
That's right.
field goal kicker can kick it.
Actually, it seems like the hardest thing for them to do is just hit extra points half the time. Like it's like if it's not over
True.
58, like under 15 seems to be a real problem.
Good point.
All right. So we are going to be talking about She-Hulk. Like I said, it just finished up. It's 9 episodes on Disney Plus, of course. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, created for television by.
Damn, James.
Yeah. It sounds like you have a one-man band in there.
James
Anyway.
is previewing our new intro music.
So created for television by Jessica Gao, directed by Kat Corio and Anu Valia. Sorry if I got that wrong. Starring Tatiana Maslany, Ginger Gonzaga, Jamila Jamil, and Tim Roth. And I did look it up. She-Hulk was created in 1980 by none other than the master Stan Lee and artist John Buscema.
Not Buscemi.
Not Buscemi. Buscema. So, let's just do a quick overview. What your guys' expectations were before it started.
Let's get into it. I'm angry. I'm angry. I want to tear this one apart. Female-led superhero show. How dare they? Harumph. Okay.
Oh, you know what, Mike?
Wait, hold on, Mike.
I think I saw you in episode 9. Weren't you the guy in the back row?
You know what kills me is, why don't we need a She-Hulk? There's no He-Hulk. I'm like, this shit's been around for 40 years. Like, where have you guys been? What the fuck?
So good. All right, so anyway, what was your expectations going in, and now that it's finished with this out of the Marvel MCU box tone and sitcom style, what did you guys think of this as a whole? I'm going to start with Mike.
Yeah, I expected a comedy. I expected a lot of fourth wall breaking. I got exactly what I was expecting. I don't understand why people were mad about this show. It's a comedy. It's a show about a lawyer. So we're gonna get some courtroom scenes. You know, we're gonna get a lot of comedy. She breaks the fourth wall in the comics all the time. She does it in the show, and this is what I expected, and I got what I wanted from this show. And you know, to be honest, at the end there, I got more than I was expecting. I didn't think we were gonna see Bruce back, but we got Bruce
No, I didn't.
and more. So
And more.
And
Yep.
more. We'll hold the spoilers till later in
Right.
case anybody wants to think about whether they want to watch it before they listen if they haven't watched it already, because there is a spoiler there, a big spoiler, which may affect the MCU later. I'm sure pretty soon now.
It mostly will, yeah.
James, what were your expectations and feelings?
Well, I think I was feel back and look at the archives. I was pretty. I really thought the show would not be a good show because I saw some poor CGI. I love Tatiana Maslany, but I didn't see anything in any of the upcoming trailers this summer that would make me think the show would be, anything more than just like Hawkeye, that series, which I know some of you guys like. To me, it was kind of mid. And then the first episode didn't really grab me, but I thought, okay, this is entertaining. I'm in for the ride. And as you guys know, I hated the Megan Thee Stallion episode. I think that was episode 3 or 2. And I was like, oh my God, this is a dumpster fire. And
You're a
then
misogynist
immediately,
racist. How dare you?
whatever. Tag me whatever you guys want. But episode 4 all the way through the finale actually was like another show. Like I really enjoyed the show. They went back to focusing on the main character and they gave her a pretty good story, pretty good arc. And like Mike said, I actually got more than what I was expecting. Probably a lot more than what Mike thought. But yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, I like your call up of Hawkeye because I did like it better than you guys. I know, but I expected it more along the lines of a standard MCU show, but with some fourth wall breaking, some more comedy bits, pushing in the Ant-Man direction, right? But what I got was definitely different than that, and I think it landed better because it felt like they knew what the show was, and it didn't feel like the writers were pulling any punches. They wanted to say something, they said it. If they wanted to point something out, they pointed it out, and then maybe got a little less lawyering than I expected. It wasn't as much of a lawyer show. They said it was a lawyer show, and yes, they used that was important to her character, and they used some of those bits in the comedy, but not as much lawyering as I expected out of her character. So probably my closest thing to criticism there is like it wasn't as much of a lawyer show as expected, but they made that up by making a show about Jen and She-Hulk and that dichotomy, whatever. And that's what it was about all the way through. And even the finale, when I'm watching it and going, yeah, okay, she's gonna find this out, she's gonna get in a fight, whatever, and they're like, whoa, hey, just so you know, we got you. So no, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Shout out to the real Kevin.
The real Kevin. I think a lot of MCU haters are going, I knew it. I fucking knew it.
He's an AI. That's for real.
All right. So, comic books in general, and my experience is mostly based around 90s X-Men and ancillary books to that extent. And the wonderful thing about comics is it's not always a set storyline. Sometimes they take a break, sometimes they jet off to join somebody else, sometimes they're guest appearances. There's all sorts of things that comic books did. And I think this show kind of matched that feel better than any other show, at least to me. What did you guys think about that? I know you guys have your experiences with comic books. Is that something you liked when you were reading those, or is that something that you were like, oh no, man, I want to get back to the Age of Apocalypse storyline? Why am I doing the swimsuit edition of X-Men?
I mean, for me, that was definitely not what I liked in reading the comics. Plus, I was a certain mindset at that age, let's be honest. In my teens, I wasn't looking for anything deeper. If I wanted something deeper, I'd read, Mist of Avalon or like Anne Rice or something like that.
Right.
My comic books, I wanted to be straightforward, boom, bam, maybe some deep conversations here and there. But that swimsuit one-off issue was definitely not what I was looking forward to when I was of that age. Obviously, now I'm much older and I can appreciate that. But that's where I'm at with that.
Mhm.
I always liked the comedy side of Marvel as well, like Peter.
In the comic book?
Yeah, in the comic book form, Peter Porker, Amazing Spider-Ham was hilarious. I love that comic.
Mhm.
So those things. So I used to like the straightforward ones, of course, but then I used to like reading those comedy ones too, because they just make me laugh. Enjoyable. So
Mhm. Yeah, and I never read any She-Hulk, but as the show was coming up and you're learning about the character and what she was and what she became, it's kind of like that whole Deadpool situation. Like learning that Deadpool was created as a basically a Deathstroke kind of character, very straightforward, very generic, and then it morphed over time into something its own thing, its own special. And the same thing with She-Hulk, that she comes out in a thing called Savage She-Hulk, and it's very classic and very much a mantle passing kind of a character, and she literally becomes something else and something new and something unique, and I thought they
I
really
mean, in
captured
the
that.
comic books, she goes from Savage She-Hulk to Sensational She-Hulk. So there was definitely some transformation in her character from being brute to being like someone more thoughtful,
Mhm.
yet with Hulk powers. So
All right, so what did you guys think? Let's talk about Tatiana Maslany. She was the key point of the show, obviously, but also I thought she was the highlight too, and that isn't always the case. We've talked about other shows where, like, Ewan McGregor really carrying his show. I thought Tatiana Maslany did a great job, but I didn't think she needed to carry the show like other shows we've watched.
no.
I thought the cast was generally good, but I did think she was a solid center point and did everything with that character that you wanted.
I have to say, I commend this casting because I think out of all the Disney Plus shows we've had since WandaVision, this group of casting, the secondary, tertiary, from Pug to even Titania, all, even Ben
Mm-hmm.
Wong, and I'm
Yeah.
like getting tired of seeing him, but it makes sense what he's doing in the roles that he's propped up to be in this show. Like out of all the shows, I think they found a way to get these other characters some decent writing, decent story to plot, and engaging enough where you feel like, okay, this guy matters. He's not just a running joke. Even what's his name wound up being the brains of intelligentsia. He was kind of like a caricature
Yeah.
early on, and then you realize, oh, he's really the baddie. So I think this show, when you go back and look at all the shows we've seen so far out of the Marvel camp, Phase 4, the Disney Plus shows, this probably did the best job in overall casting. Just speaking about casting, not anything else beyond that.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Tatiana killed it, but you could almost consider this show. It's her show, but you could almost consider it an ensemble show. Like
Mm-hmm.
Friends or something like that. Yeah, because Nikki killed it too. Pugs killed it. At the end, it
Mm-hmm.
turned out to be a team effort to find out who was behind everything, right? So it wasn't just her going out and raging and smashing a bunch of shit to find out what was going on, right? So thoroughly enjoyed that.
And they managed to, all the tertiary characters, I thought they managed to make them very interesting. Like, if we look at Miss Marvel, I loved the main cast, but the tertiary characters never did anything for me. I never felt really much there. But here, when I see Man Bull and the Matador guy and the Crowbar dude and Tim Roth killing it, and that whole episode where she's at the retreat, I was invested. I was like, "Oh my god, why am I invested in these people?" But I was.
Yeah.
So I don't know where that was coming from, just good writing and interesting character pulling. and making those tertiary characters matter, not to Jen, but their experiences mattering for relating to her experiences too. All right. So what did you guys think of the whole setup of the intelligentsia? This very real world Gamergate. What do you call it when someone
Reddit subgroup.
Reddit, but like someone steals your
not Reddit. That's
post-
like 4chan, 8chan bullshit.
Yeah, there you go.
4chan, yeah. I wouldn't say all out incel, but close.
Yeah.
When they post all your private info, what's that called? Your doxed.
Doxing, yeah.
Doxing, threats, the whole shebang. What did you guys think of that? Do you think it worked well? Do you think it was too real?
I mean, honestly, that's when I started nitpicking the finale. I think I was hoping the intelligence would be more like a group. Doesn't have to be superpowered. It could be, humans with threat to really physically harm her. But once we went down that whole social media slide with them being like basically a team of trolls who were trying to destroy her reputation and her character, then it got, maybe a little too real. And I felt like, is this more like towards the fans of the show and the Marvel MCU fans in general? Because then later on, if I'm about to get the spoilers, the writers' room that they show, and if you look at the bulletin boards, they can see all these different ideas they're tossing out there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is really meta. And are they writing this on purpose, or does it really fit what the character would have been? I don't know. So my thought is, I wasn't too much of a fan of this version of the intelligentsia. But it kind of makes sense with the show we got. Overall, when I look at it big picture, it made sense that would be part of the show. But me, just a generic MCU fan, turn my brain off a little bit. I wasn't too pleased with that.
Yeah,
you feel it's more of a the Mandarin type, like this isn't the real intelligence.
It's a switcheroo.
There's a real one.
There's no Thunderbolts. There's no. I mean, none of that stuff that we were kind of speculating. No Mephisto. it's like, yeah. I don't know. Marvel keeps doing these switcheroos with us.
Yeah, I don't even think there's going to be a switcheroo like they tried to redeem Mandarin. So, but yeah, they weren't the smartest, the toughest of the bunch. So yeah, it was a bit of a letdown there, but I don't know. I agree. It fit with where they were going. The question for me though about the writing isn't like, did they plan it? It's like, when did they write this? Because it was so spot on as these episodes were airing with what was the reaction from a lot of these incels on social media. So it was kind of
what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Good question. Yeah.
But from what I've heard, it's up to, some of these episodes are up to 3 years old. You can't do that kind of CGI in a week. That is long-term work, which means the writing has to come
first. Mm-hmm. Right.
Go ahead, Mike.
So they wrote this a long time ago, and it's so spot on in predicting the reactions. It's so weird how well they were able to predict, like almost word for word some of the.
Yeah, but some of that stuff wasn't. Yeah, but some of it wasn't that far. Like, but they started referencing Lady Thor and a couple of more current stuff. Yeah. I'm sure that there's probably a couple of reshoots, a couple of dialogue added.
Easily done, right?
But you gotta remember, Mighty Thor the comic came out several years ago and had a specific backlash to the comic. So even if they're like, okay, we're gonna, this is in the pipeline, so we can reference this, even because we're taking a shot that people are going to say the same things about her on screen that they said about her in the comic book. So I think
that's true.
But I see what you mean about being too real. It's one of those things where the show, one of the problems we've had, or I've had with some of these shows, is I felt like they haven't done enough work on the villain or / antagonist of the series. And they've kind of let that slide, be a bit weak in a lot of these series.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
You've heard of this. You've seen this, right? You know what that is.
It is unavoidable. It is your destiny.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Knock that shit off.
And in this, I was like, okay, so it's pretty generic. They're trying to get her blood, and then spoilers, everybody, we're going there. The guy's going to he's got her blood. He's going to inject himself. He's going to become a Hulk. He's pretending that he deserves it, even though he doesn't, which is kind of that juxtaposition, whatever. And then they have her stop and go, no, I don't want this. This is too obvious. Like, if they went that way, if they continued that storyline, we all would have watched it when, like, oh yeah, they did it again. It's the same thing, but okay, I enjoy a Hulk smash as much as the next person. That's fun. But
Right.
they realized that.
Yeah, we would. It would
Where does that get you?
Yeah, A plus B equals C again. All right.
And what does that do? What does that do for her character? Because her character is about her accepting those two bits of it, and about the whole series is about other people treating her different ways because she's a Hulk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the ending she creates is more in line with that that spending the time with her as a character, as opposed to spending time with someone being a physical threat to her.
I mean, why not have both? Why not have her? Because I forgot what show has done that before, where the finale, actually the big bang was in the beginning. So you can have the Hulk smash moment in the beginning, and then have the second half of the finale where she has to try with the Finn Blonsky because he helped or whatnot. Give us actual trial where she's on the stand or someone else, and then you end that series with a combination. Okay, you get the big boom boom bap out the way in the beginning, and then you get to her character as Jen Walters, the lawyer, at the end of the show. You really didn't get either. You didn't get the big Marvel typical finale, big boss fight, but you didn't even see her courtroom. Like, she just automatically was like acquitted, and it was more like closure of the character with her friends and everybody else on the show. It was like the end of Lord of the Rings, the Peter Jackson and Return of the King, where the last 15 minutes, it was just a lot of hugs and kumbaya and off we go. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, other than the big super Easter egg with Bruce, like that whole part to me, I was just like, this is it? This is how we're winding it down? Like,
Well, her courtroom bit was her plea to Kevin. Like, her case that she pled was not a case to a courtroom of people that she didn't deserve to go to jail because she hulked out. It was, this is how I think my story should be told. And that was kind of that as an insert.
But she didn't have she didn't have any antagonists in that scenario. She just had Kevin, who was like the judge.
And I completely agree that there wasn't enough courtroom Jen in this. I would like to see more of that. I think that would be more fun. You could do more. Those were some of my favorite bits. Was her dealing with the what's his, not Miracle Man. What's the guy who who couldn't die? No, who's the guy?
Immortal guy. The immortal guy.
Yeah,
whatever his name was.
The Immortal Man, I think you call him.
Yeah,
I think it's the Immortal Man. Yeah, the Immortal Man.
Yeah, that stuff and the frog guy, that was all fun. I think that
the best one was her and Matt Murdock going at it, where you could clearly tell she's not quite at the level of Matt Murdock legal skill wise. But that was, to me, that was epic.
Yes.
Of like co-counseling. That was great.
That was fantastic. Yeah. That courtroom scene with the two of them was great. So.
And I think I'm hoping they see the popularity here, go for a season 2, and we get more of that. I would like more of the, okay, I'm ready as a character to do my courtroom stuff and my superheroing. Now we get to the meat and potatoes of a Marvel superhero. Like, that's what I want to see next. And yes, break the fourth wall, do the fun stuff, keep it light and comedy, but give me that stuff too. But I did enjoy what we got here, which was very much a character piece with the comedy.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I have a feeling we're going to...
Yeah, I mean, it's a great introduction.
Huh?
Go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say, I have a feeling we're going to see her on Daredevil too, so...
Oh, that's
interesting.
They would have to.
Yeah, and then probably some other Disney Plus shows
Yeah.
because she might be the Deadpool of the Disney Plus shows, where she can like, unlike Wong, actually break the fourth wall in each of
Right.
these other shows.
Mhm.
I would love to see her in Deadpool.
Yeah. Yeah, that would
Yeah,
be cool.
that would be hilarious.
I appreciate her
But
asking straight out when we're going to see the X-Men too, by the way.
I know, and then and then she winked at us.
she knew
Uh,
Yeah,
years.
when she says what I do. I smash buildings. I smash Matt Murdock. I was like, wow, that was dope.
Yeah, that whole scene where she's going down the hallway at Marvel Studios and throwing, dude, the faces that one security guard made. He went for it. He was looking at the camera and being like, ah, like it was so good. It was a lot of fun.
Nah, that was good. That was good. Kudos.
Yeah, definitely the finale gave me more because it did feel like it was more in line with the character. So that really what I wanted. Okay, let's talk about cameos. We had a lot of cameos. We had Wong, obviously. Abomination, I felt was more than a cameo. We had Brittany. What the hell was her name? What was the Addison?
Madison with the Y, not what you think.
Not where you think.
Obviously, Matt Murdock. What did you guys think was the best used? And lots of random porcupine, like deep cut Marvel characters. What was your guys' favorite? And what was your favorite deep cut character you had no idea they existed, but they were awesome?
Come on, Mike, you go.
I don't know. I mean, I had been waiting all season for Daredevil, right? So when we finally,
All right, good. That's why I let you go
It's
first.
obvious.
That's why I let Mike go first. Go ahead, Mike.
and he didn't disappoint, man. He was fantastic. It's great.
Although it was oddly weird seeing him in that daylight setting. Like, to think about it, in a Netflix show,
Right.
you rarely saw him in daylight. And then when you did see him in daylight, it was walking in the New York City streets where it wasn't like in a California where he's out wide open and he's standing on the
Yeah.
on that grassy knoll and you see all his stuff. I'm like, wow.
When she called him and he just like landed from nowhere, I started laughing.
Yeah, it was weird seeing him in like, West Coast Sun, Disney Plus MCU daylight colors.
Oh yeah. So.
But yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off Mike, that was a cameo that I was looking forward to the most. Although I did enjoy Wong's cameo, I did enjoy some of the deep cuts of the Marvel villains. Not Marvel villains, anti-heroes. But definitely Matt was my favorite. And they used him in a capacity where he made sense on the show. Like when he was defending the suit maker, it made sense that that's what he would do because that guy's an asset to him, So yeah, and in the comic books, and I had to do a little research. Somebody said this too. Daredevil Matt Murdock is the one hero that's had the most amount of quote unquote bodies, and as far as dating is concerned, like he did hook up with She-Hulk. He hooked up with Black Widow. He hooked up with a lot of women in the MCU. He's like that dude.
People got mad on the internet that She-Hulk hooked up with Matt.
Again, they don't read the comics.
Have you not seen the Netflix show? The man was sleeping with everybody on the Netflix show.
Yes, Jessica. I mean, he didn't go with Jessica Jones, but yeah.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he
that dude in the comic books. That's what he did the most. If you go back and look at it.
Yeah, he had Claire, and he had what's her name?
Oh yeah, Claire.
Yeah.
Care about her.
And Elektra. Yeah, and the secretary that worked for them.
And he hooked up with her too, the girl from True Blood.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Yeah, I forgot her character's name.
Yeah.
Oh, Karen. Karen Page.
Karen, yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't saying no.
Yeah.
That's that blind man game, man. Everybody feels sorry for him somewhere.
Froggy all jealous all the time.
Her calling out like him being blind. She's like, because that could be real problematic. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So what? You guys both had the same favorite. I agree. They had great chemistry together. What did you guys? What character surprised you? Was it Abomination? Was it Man Bull? Was it Mister Nine Lives? I don't remember his name again. Oh, you know what?
Immortal, Mr. Immortal.
You
Immortal
know what
Man.
I'm
I know
gonna
what
say?
character surprised me. But go ahead.
I'm gonna say it was that first case with the elf that could shapeshift. I thought that was the best one.
The terrible episode of freaking Meg the Stallion. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
but the shapeshifting elf was hysterical when she gets up and pretends to be the judge for a minute.
Then she was like, Asgard is not a place. It's a stop it with that speech. That was on point. I think for me, it's not really so much the character. It's really a combination of the actor and the character. The actor that plays Pug, one of the lawyers, I've known him, and Mike, you might remember him from the CW Arrow show, when he played one of the most infamous villains on that show. Where this you just hated that dude. His face, he does a much different tonal inflection when he's talking on this show. But if you go back and watch Arrow on season 5 or 6, near the last couple of seasons, the way he talks, the way his mannerisms, and how dark he was, and how much he really went into Ed Oliver. Then to see him on this campy show where he's playing kind of like the one minute he's like the sneaker dude, the next minute he's like help. It's like night and day, man. So to me, as far as anyone that really surprised me, it would be the actor who played Pug on the show. I didn't know he had that kind of range where he could be, just as comedic and funny as he was like freaking demonic and dark on this CW show.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I mean,
Mike?
a bunch of them really were great. Like, I got to give a shout out to Donnie Blaze in the beginning, the magician who Wong was suing. The guy who kept stealing
that's right.
Wong's tricks and
The magician.
Yeah.
He was
that
funny.
good.
He was funny. Another one of those actors is like, where have I seen you before? Oh, you were in Entourage on HBO.
Right.
Oh, you were on this show. Yeah, he's been around.
Right.
And then definitely Madison with a Y, but not where you expect.
Yeah, exactly.
She's selling merchandise, man. They're selling that T-shirt.
Man, I don't know.
She's
I don't know
hanging
how
out with Mephisto, man, down in the demon realm.
Dude, if she doesn't show up in if they do like a Wong training in Comitage, they better have her in the background, just as one of the students.
That would be funny. I would be okay with that.
Yeah, you don't always have to point it out. Just have it in there, and people will find it, and it'll be good.
If she just sitting,
All right, why don't-
just sitting in the corner sipping on a Starbucks drink or something,
Start just watching. Wong, you should see this.
Well, let me know if we want to bring out some drinks for your training.
Yeah.
Virgin, of course, not where you think. Some shit like that.
Oh man.
All right, why don't we give this a grade? The whole series, and I'm gonna challenge you to place it within the Disney Plus realm.
Oh damn.
Other shows.
This gets harder with every show. Now we got like 50 shows, man.
I know. I gotta get my pen and paper.
It's only like 6 shows or 8 shows. It's 8 shows.
That's a lot.
I know. All right, I'll go first. I'm gonna give this a.
Okay.
So for me, this was a good show, funny show, well acted, well written. I'm gonna go B+.
All right.
And I'm gonna put it
top 5, top 10.
Definitely. I think
it's in the top 10.
Top 10, yeah, damn it. It's gotta be top 10. There's only 8 of them, right? So.
Hold on, when we say 8, now forget I finished, Mike. I think we're
I'm gonna
short
put this
something.
ahead of Hawkeye and Falcon and Winter Soldier. I don't know if I'll put it above WandaVision or Loki though. So I might have to rewatch those and then do a comparison, but it's definitely top 5 for sure. What else did we have? I can't even remember the other Marvel shows. Right?
So I just wrote down real quick: WandaVision, Loki, in order of release. WandaVision, Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Werewolf by Night, She-Hulk.
What if? What if is
What if? So what
Yeah,
if
but are
came
we
in
counting?
after
So
Winter
Werewolf by
Soldier?
Night
I haven't
is a
I haven't
movie.
watched it, so I can't.
It's a movie, though,
Oh, so you
right?
can't count that. Yeah, it's a movie.
And
It's a
then What If
movie.
is animated. I don't know if I want to count that either. But
I'll count it.
yeah, so
I'll allow
What
it.
If is definitely top 5 for me.
So if he says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shows. So top 5 out of 7 doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
It's top 3.
No, I
Top
wouldn't.
three.
I don't
I
know.
would.
I see. Right now, I would say I like this better than Miss Marvel. So
Mm-hmm. I agree with
yeah,
that. I agree. I think it's better than Hawkeye.
yeah.
Better than Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Mm.
So there you're already in top 5. Now, what if? I might say I would rewatch this before I would watch What If, and I really liked What If.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this is top 3 for me.
Okay. What's your grade?
I'm going with A minus.
Oh, nice.
I think I think it was consistent. It was character driven. It knew what it was. It didn't fall apart. Like if it had just gone the intelligentsia route, I think it would have felt less compelling, less character oriented. But yeah, that serves the story, but it doesn't serve the character.
Right.
And I think what they did really it surprised me. And I think I'm giving it an A minus, and it'll be my top 3. James.
And where did you land, Mike?
B+.
That was his B plus in your top 3 as well?
I don't know about top 3.
Oh, because that means you've got at least 3 others above B plus or at B plus.
Well, yeah. So in the top 2, I have for sure Loki and WandaVision.
Okay, those are A's for you.
Right.
I'm assuming. Okay. No, I just need to get some references for the 2 of you. I think I'm gonna be a little bit more sourpuss, than Megan Thee Stallion episode. I just can't shake it. So I'm gonna give it a B minus.
Yeah, it's a solid grade.
Slightly higher than my son Eric's grade of C plus, although he did watch every episode, like with me. I'm going to rank it below Loki, below Falcon and Winter Soldier, below WandaVision, but parallel to What If. So What If is a 4A, She-Hulk is a 4B, and Hawkeye is a 5, and Miss Marvel's a 6.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, get that. All right. Yeah, I definitely is a recommended series. My whole family is definitely enjoying this. I think that's the thing about it is it doesn't feel like watching Falcon and Winter Soldier. It definitely felt like, okay, if you're a Marvel fan, you're gonna love this. Outside of that, maybe you might enjoy it. A lot of the series felt like that. This felt like anybody who likes comedy sitcoms, come in and watch it. You might get a kick out of it, right?
Yeah. Hey, let's do our quick own post credits. Mike can roll our credits, and we go, hey, by the way, Scar and all the Easter eggs that Kevin dropped. What do you guys think about that shit? Yo, Eric's head exploded. He was like, "Oh shit, they're going World War Hulk." Yeah. I was like, I don't know if they're gonna do that. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but
we'll see.
No, I don't think the way that he was introduced, it feels like that. Okay. For a second, I was thinking of the Young Avengers, but that's Hulk Ling, not yet.
Yeah, that's not Scar.
Right.
Okay. Well, and Tatiani said, leave that for the movie at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she asked her if she's gonna be a big screen, and he was like, "No." That was funny.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's coming.
Yeah.
Hey, James, did Eric get the opening scene reference?
No, he did not. I had to remind him because he did watch it. Like, when did we first get Disney Plus and they're releasing the old? I think it was last summer.
Yeah.
When they expanded the catalog to show the old animated cartoon Spider-Man and Friends. They even had the TV show Spider-Man and Hulk. So we tried watching that for a couple. He goes, "Damn, you guys really had it rough when you were young." This is But he forgot. Like, he's sitting there next to me. I'm waiting for him to like say something, and he didn't get it. Like I had to remind him. He goes, "Oh, he remembered."
That's what I was worried about. Like, we probably lost half the audience with that opening scene. Like,
Yeah, you probably did, and you're gonna have to go back and go on like Rockstar YouTube channel and those guys.
Like Bill Bixby, who names who? Like, what?
Yeah.
And I want to know who they painted green, because there's this all this chatter ahead of the show about how bad the CGI is, and they should just paint someone green.
Well, there you go.
And I wonder, the production, if they went, oh my God, wait till they see we tried that. And
this is what you guys wanted.
It didn't work. It looked like it was a 70s television show. And
you know what killed me is when the scene where she's like, "Don't make me angry, like I'm angry," and Mark Ruffalo's playing Bill Bixby, and they're standing there on a little hill, and there's just like that awkward silence. When you go back and watch the opening, that actually happened exactly like that.
Yeah.
It was just weird intro. Like he said that line, and they kind of both looked down to the ground, and like nobody, like it was like another 5 seconds before it went to the next scene.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's another hidden comedy there. You don't even know until you rewatch it.
Man.
So yeah. All right. Why don't we give it up for the week? I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Mike, where can people talk about She-Hulk to us and ask us other opinions about other shows and She-Hulk in the future of the Marvel Universe?
So, as usual, all over the internet at Heroes Peak, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Stay tuned for James's 4 and 8 chance subreddit on why female superheroes should not exist in the universe.
They didn't earn it, man. They didn't earn it.
They're taking our jobs from the male heroes, man. They took our jobs.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell in the corner to get notifications, and leave a comment below and tell us why you agree with James.
That's our core audience there.
That's right.
Leave a comment, as always. Leave a comment. If you're a Lakers fan, shout out to a Lakers fan. Leave a comment about the Lakers crew. Queen of the Pod would love it. I mean, she would love it.
Yeah.
Lakers fans, Raiders fans, and all of the above. All right. Thank you again, and we will see you guys next week. What? We're talking maybe not Black Adam yet. Probably Andor.
Andor what?
Yeah, the finale.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Later.
All right.
Later.
See ya.
Hey, Indigo made the beat.